For all sorts of understandable reasons, Australians are often down on politicians and pretty lukewarm on politics. But with a new Governor-General sworn in today and a new Parliament sitting tomorrow, it's a good moment to count our blessings and maybe even give ourselves a little pat on the back for getting a whole lot more right than wrong. The election result might have been decisive, but nevertheless, it was still close. Absent Queensland and Western Australia, Labor would have won and won well. But the end result saw a return of the Morrison government. As so many of my viewers still say to me, we dodged a bullet back in May, so now let's get on with it. Despite its much marketed listening tour, it seems Labor still isn't listening. And no doubt the internal debate is still running. Was it poor policies or poor salesmanship that led to the unlosable election's loss? This will go on. For the coalition too, there will need to be some careful thinking beyond tax cuts and a promising to be a safe pair of hands on border protection. There wasn't a whole lot that the government took to the election. So the hard work must start now to give real grunt to their third-term agenda. Where to on energy? Where to now on wages and IR? How do they tackle the cultural fight on political correctness and freedom of speech? Overseas, China, and reports from some quarters today that there's still life yet in Islamic State. Plus population. It's the one issue that voters on the left and right agree on. They want to see the numbers fall, yet in this place here in Canberra, it's one of the rare areas where Labor and the coalition are in cahoots to do nothing to make that happen. With both sides now resolved to entrench leaders throughout a parliamentary term, there's every likelihood that we have left behind the dismal decade of the revolving door prime ministership. Instead of watching their backs and worrying about news poll, our senior leaders should now be more focused on what's best for the country, and thank God for that. And on God, it's worth noting that the majority of MPs to be sworn in tomorrow will take their oath on the Bible, the book that Israel Folau has been sacked for paraphrasing. This is the kind of topsy-turvy political correctness gone mad that people want the coalition to bring to an end. For me, the replacement today of one fine Governor-General with another, equally fine Australian, well, that symbolises our system's great strength. At the top, there is someone who is no one's flunky, who can't be bought off with a factional deal, whose head isn't turned by promises of political promotion. A lifetime of service culminating in the highest service to us as our Governor-General. We heard last week about an alleged attempt by a senior politician, let's not even mention his name, to hang on to his job by manipulating the Governor-General. If it was true, it came to nothing in the end, as it was bound to, because Sir Peta Cosgrove, he's nobody's fool, and because the Attorney-General turned out to be a better and stronger character than the then Prime Minister. That's the thing we have strongly in this system. A Governor-General who's a distinguished Australian representing the Queen, well, it's much less exposed to political intimidation than a President who could be sacked instantly by the Prime Minister of the day. Indeed, that was the Turnbull model, went to the referendum. And despite the machinations, the bloodletting and the games of this place, all of which I now hope are long behind us, we have a system that has held up against all attempts to put the getting of power and the keeping of it over the right of the Australian people to hire and fire in their own democracy. Let's all hope that the 46th Parliament is far better than the 45th.